Hello, this is Mark Serwotka, the General Secretary of PCS, bringing you some important updates on the union's campaigns around the question of pay, health and safety, and defending our members' jobs and conditions. Firstly, can I say I hope you and your family are safe and well during these still uncertain times, and remind you that if anyone's got any concerns, contact your local union representative or contact our coronavirus response unit, where we'll do whatever we can to help and assist you. Now, firstly, let's deal with the question of pay. You'll know from our previous messages that we're asking the government to do the decent thing and give all PCS members a 10% pay rise, not just because of the magnificent work that you've all done during the coronavirus pandemic, but in recognition that over the last 10 years, some of our members have lost 20% in real terms in the value of their pay. Our campaign has started with the launch of a national petition designed to get 100,000 signatures that will force the government to have a parliamentary debate. Now, we've got off to a fantastic start. Over 44,000 people have already signed the petition. In fact, in the first few days, we massively passed the first target of 10,000 signatures that forces the government to respond to our petition. But to get a debate in Parliament, we need 100,000 signatures. So if you haven't already signed it, my plea to you in this video is to sign the petition. If you have signed it, why not also ask members of your family, your friends, people in other unions you may know, or critically anybody who you work with who is a member of PCS who has yet to sign the petition. Remember, if we get 100,000 signatures, the government will be forced to justify their dreadful treatment of you and your colleagues in a parliamentary debate that will be seen by members of the public. So please support the petition. The next thing to mention, of course, is the current situation regarding the coronavirus pandemic itself. It's clear from the uncertainty that we hear about every day, with spikes in certain parts of the country, that we are far from being through this difficult crisis. In fact, the majority of PCS members continue to work from home. Partly because of the union's activities, we believe that the most of our members are able to work in safe conditions, either from home or in a safe workplace. But as ever, there's always people who have problems that need to be dealt with. So if you have any concerns, any worries about your managers ringing you, asking you to do things you haven't been asked to do before, if you don't think your workplace is safe, if you're at home and you're being asked to go back to work, remember to talk to your local union representative or to contact us on our coronavirus helpline, where we will give you help. But I now want to move to people who are already in the front line of having to take drastic action to defend their pay or their jobs or their futures. And currently we have a number of campaigns and strikes that are critical that the union supports, and I'm asking you, having seen this video, to do what you can to send support to your colleagues, either just through message support, emails, or ask your branch reps to ensure that your union branch has sent a message of solidarity. Firstly, we have members on strike who are cleaners, working for the private contractor ISS, working in HMRC offices on Merseyside and in Birmingham. Our cleaners in Merseyside are now in their third week of strike action. They're soon going to be joined by their colleagues in Birmingham, and these members will in total have taken weeks of strike action in defence of their jobs, but also in the fight for better terms and conditions that should put them on a par with their colleagues in the civil service, and for a living wage. We all depend on cleaners. They're often forgotten about, and they're usually treated badly by private employers and by government departments. So please help them in their fight for fair pay and fair conditions. And then we have members working for the Tate in London, members in Tate Enterprise, the backbone of some of our leading cultural institutions, the people who are responsible for the public being able to visit these world-renowned places and to enjoy their experience. Yet our members now face losing their jobs. 313 of your colleagues faced with redundancy. This despite the fact that the Tate has received a bailout of millions of pounds from the government, yet they're still planning to sack over 300 workers. That cannot be right. Tate colleagues are on strike now, and that strike will continue into the future. Please support them. And also we have other colleagues in the culture sector, in the South Bank and in other cultural institutions who face uncertain futures because of the funding crisis in the culture sector. We're demanding the government puts more money in, but we hope you will support those colleagues also who are fighting to defend their pensions, their terms and conditions, and their jobs. And then that leads us to the civil service. In DWP, We are having a ballot at the moment, a consultative ballot of tens of thousands of our members in job centres and universal credit centres, because the department ridiculously is forcing them to work for extended hours even though it is unsafe to do so. This is a critical health and safety campaign where we do not allow the department to play fast and loose with people's safety by forcing them to work longer hours when it isn't safe to do so. And like those colleagues in DWP, we also have colleagues in the Ministry of Justice, in the Department for Transport and elsewhere, facing real issues at the moment about the safety in their workplaces that requires the union to support them. So my concluding message is simple. Whether we have members on strike, whether they're considering campaigning, whether it's you worried about your future, whether it's your pay, your health and safety, or the future of your office, only a strong union can ensure that we get justice for you and all your colleagues. So thanks for watching. Please share the message in this video. Please let your colleagues on strike know they have your support, and we'll continue to keep you updated. Thanks very much.